Hi, I'm Giancarlo,
And I'm Felicia.
and this is our review of
Super Fantasy Rumble. It looks like a video game.
Well, that's a good thing because that's exactly what they were going for.
In Super Fantasy Rumble, players control a gang of arcade-style fighters in an arena to become the ultimate champion. In the box you'll find a game board with a 4x4 grid and a 3x3 grid, 6 movement cards, give each player 1 dash, 1 castling, and 1 slide, 16 leader cards. Shuffle them all and give each player 2 random ones in a 2-player game. 32 warrior cards. Shuffle these and give each player 4 random ones. 48 roster cards. Give each player all their matching leaders and warriors. 12 red dice. Give 6 to each player. They'll place each die on their roster cards with its face matching that character's hit points. And 2 blue dice. Each player will roll them and the highest roll chooses whether to go first or second. Starting with the first player, each player will place their characters one by one on the board. They may place them anywhere except on spaces already taken, and must be placed facing the player that owns them. Once done, you are ready to rumble.
The starting player will activate his fighters and attack with them if he can. The player can choose in any order how his fighters attack. A fighter can only attack where he has action points. These will show an arrow icon on a side or corner of the card. If he can make an attack, the player will decide which attack to use. Most have a basic between 5 and 8 written next to the character's title in pink. Some will have other attacks with different numbers. These numbers, the target you need to roll equal to or above on 2 dice. If, however, the character you are attacking has an action point where you're trying to hit, they'll add their defense bonus to your target number, making it harder for you to hit them. All attacks do 1 point of damage unless otherwise noted. Simply place the die of the hit fighter down 1 for each sustained hit. Once a fighter activated, simply turn its roster card sideways so you know you can't use him this turn again. A fighter can do only 1 attack per turn, so choose wisely. He can, however, use 1 or more of his assist skills. These will be denoted by a blue circle. Lastly, the green circle is the defensive skill used on an opponent's turn and when it states to do so. Once all his fighters have activated, the next player gets to activate all of his.
Besides attacking, players may want to use their movement cards during an attack turn. Once used, turn these face down. Dash simply means moving a fighter 1 space in any direction. Castling, allow 2 of your adjacent fighters to switch position. And lastly, their slide. This move allows you to slide a row or column, even if it contains enemy fighters. It also allows you to wrap around the board. Empty spaces will also slide when using this movement. Movement cards are independent of fighter activation, so you can use them at any time during your attack turn. When only 6 fighters remain, we move on to the second half or round 2.
Each player will take their fighters back to their hands, and now the second player in the first round will become the first player in this round. Starting with him, each player will once again place their fighters one by one. Except this round, they'll have to place their fighter in the 3x3 blue grid. The green spaces are considered non-existent in this round. Players keep fighting it out until they destroyed all of their opponent's fighters to be the arena champion.
Super Fantasy Rumble is a very light tactical game. The box says 13 plus for age range, but we think this game is best played for anyone between 9 and 15 years of age because it is light. For our group, we found it somewhat lacking in terms of luck mitigation. Though there are some neat ways of increasing your probability to hit, you'll always be at the mercy of the dice roll. The variety of characters is great, as is the style of their artwork, as they themselves claim it to be in that Saturday morning cartoon genre. More so, I immediately noticed a good use of gender and ethnicity in several of their characters, which is an awesome step forward in board gaming. I just have to give a pro point for that. However, with all these choice of characters, which does add to replay value, there is a strong sense of unbalance. Some are simply better than others. And if you're unlucky enough to have picked a random team that is underpowered, well, tough. They really should have included a mode to either draft or a way to pick their fighters in a more controlled state. I do love the usage of movement though in this game. It probably is the most tactical part of this game, and does give it that puzzle-like feel they wanted to go for. But besides that, the theme is lacking a little. Though their artwork is fine, I felt their graphic layout and choices were a little odd. Instead of having a board with each fighter and their logo on every single space, they could have done something different to give more of an arcade-style look and cement their theme a little more. Their layout problem also persists in the rulebook, as if some things were sequentially misplaced. All in all, we think this game might be suitable for younger or family audiences, but with a very similar game as this one called Lords of War that allows more for tactics and strategy. Super Fantasy Rumble is just a watered-down version of it. It gets 5 grumbling fighters out of 10. It's a very Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Pew, Red Power Ranger.
Green Power Ranger.
May our forces unite.
Wait, what happened to all the other Power Rangers?
Luca, who do you want to be?
Pink.
Pink.
Pink Power Ranger. Wasn't the white one like super OP?
Tommy?
I don't know. Was there like, I don't know. She knows the name.
It
Was
was
there
my generation. Tommy was the green one, but then he became white with like the gold.
And then it was
black.
someone that became black, right? Like the black and white.
No,
were
is that no pink, pink, yellow, green, blue, red. Pink. There was 6, I think. Then the white one was like there with the sword like this.
I think you gave about 50,000 nerds out there, like nerd boners.
Well,
And we could say nerds because we're nerds ourselves, as you can see. Geeks. You're right. We should say geeks. I'm nerds too. Well, I'm a nerd. Maybe you're not. You're more.
you're not a nerd.
Oh, that's nice.
A nerd means you got good grades in school. Which I have a hard time believing.
I'm not a nerd. I'm just a geek.
You're just a geek.